I'm Jeff Richardson, the owner of J&K Insulation. In this video, you're going to see how we use CertainTeed fiberglass, one of the best insulation manufacturers there is in the world, and how we use spray-on polyurethane foam, open cell and closed cell. And we'll show you through different videos how all of these are applied, and try to explain how these products make your home the most energy efficient home in the block. You'll also find out in these videos a little bit about moisture control. When I first got into insulation 34 years ago, it was insulation, and then it became insulation and moisture control. Well, what does moisture control have to do with insulation, I asked myself. And as I found out about it and why it was moisture control, it all makes sense. Insulation works by trapping air, and air has relative humidity, and there's different temperatures throughout the building envelope where dew point surfaces could be, and the air that's in the insulation, when it comes in contact with it, forms condensation within the cavity where you can't see it. And you control that by controlling air movement. So forever since I've been J&K Insulation, wall insulation for blown-in walls, I've used Optima forever. Optima is the only fiberglass material made specifically for a net and blow wall. Attic insulation, I've used fiberglass materials for years and years. CertainTeed has been a good partner for J&K Insulation, and I've been using CertainTeed InsulSafe SP for as long as I've been J&K Insulation. It will not lose R value from settling, does not burn, does not rot. So when we're insulating with fiberglass, and it doesn't matter if it's bats or blown in, before we insulate, we go through the inside of the stud cavities and we foam seal at the top and bottom plate around the blocks and around the windows and doors and the daylight that's inside the stud cavity. That helps stop the air exfiltration from warm air wanting to push the cold air, and then also narrows down the condensation that can happen with inside the wall. And then we put the fiberglass in. Oh, no worries, we do it around the windows and doors really good too, so you're not getting any air leakage coming in from your windows and doors. But you'll really appreciate how we seal up the house before we insulate. So what we're going to show you here is what it takes to move some fiberglass either into a wall or into an attic. You need a big machine like this. Down inside this machine there's 3 rotating arms that go around. First one just kind of breaks up into smaller chunks, and then it gets down into this shredder here that turns it, and it breaks it up even more. And then down on the bottom there's an auger that pulls all the material back this way. And down below that there's where the paddle seals are. And inside there's a bunch of little V's like this that have rubber seals that go around and around. And as they come around the top here, there's some slide gates that restricts the material, how much material is going to go down in between each one as it goes around. It comes around the bottom, and that's where the compressor is driving the air out the bottom. And the hose is hooked on over here, and it drives it through the hose. Pretty simple machine, actually. First of all, fiberglass insulation, whether it's blown in or bats, it works when it's encapsulated in a true dead air space in full contact with a skin or air barrier, sealed so air can't get in, air can't get out, and therefore air won't move. And then there's spray foam. Spray foam is its own air barrier. Air doesn't move through it. Spray foam is a 2-part component that's sent through heated hoses, and at the trigger, it comes out equal pressure and mixes. It heats up to about 220 degrees, expands, and goes from a liquid to a solid in about 15 or 20 seconds. This is a Graco H50 reactor. This is what keeps track of your pressures, your heat, everything that you need to make foam. And it pumps it through a heated hose down through here to the gun. This on the end. Inside the gun here, there's a mixing chamber where the fluids come at equal pressure through the lines along with compressed air. In the mixing chamber, the two components come together at equal pressure and they come out as liquid. The chemical reaction of the mixture heats up to around 220 degrees. It expands and it goes from a liquid to a solid. It takes two mix. This is closed cell foam. There's an A side that comes in the black barrel here, and there's the B side that comes in the green barrel here. Once the two of them been mixed together and sprayed on, you spray a liquid into a crack and then it expands hard. I'll tell you what, it's sealed and it does a great job of getting your house insulated well. I get asked all the time, what is the very best thing that I can do to my house to make it energy efficient? And there's no doubt the best thing that you can do, and you can do it yourself if you know how, is air seal the attic before it's blown. So what we do is after the drywall is hung and taped, we come in with our foam truck, and anywhere where sheetrock butts into wood, and anywhere where the sheetrock has been routed, and all around the perimeter and up the ends of the baffles and truss tails, we coat with foam before we blow it. The advantage of that is when the wind blows, it comes in through the attic vents, and that attic gets pressurized. That air pressure pushes through anywhere where there's a crack or a hole, pushes through the insulation because it's basically an air filter. And you get the drafts coming in throughout. But the other thing that happens is when the furnace or air conditioner turns on, the house pressurizes. It has a reverse effect. The air pressure pushes through anywhere where there's a crack or a hole, and you lose your conditioned air into your attic space. So by sealing it, the air conditioner or your furnace turns on, the air can't escape the envelope, so it recycles the system. It's going to heat or cool just a little bit faster. Plus, you get rid of all of the air infiltration from the attic, the thermal bypass effect that the moving air has on the insulation. Plus, your house is going to be less dusty and less chance of insects and rodents getting into the house from the attic. I'm here with Spencer Stevens. This is Spencer Stevens Construction, and wow, what a nice home he builds. And I'll just let Spencer talk about some of the things that he takes pride in building his homes. And
like you said, I'm Spencer Stevens. I've been a licensed home builder since 2009. Met Jeff, it's about 6 years ago, when we were building our personal home. He came in and was talking to me about some of the deficiencies in the insulation contractor that we were using at that point. And shortly after that, we decided to make a move to start using J&K Insulation for all of our projects, and we've been very pleased that we've made the move. We pride ourselves at Spencer Stevens Construction in being a different type of home builder. We're not interested in building the same home that everybody else does. We are interested in building the best home. And we do that by partnering with great subcontractors like J&K Insulation, who are the best in their industry, to make sure that our homeowners are getting the best possible product. One of the best compliments I've been given about our home was a customer we built for. It was in a starter home community, and the customers were downsizing, have lived all over the country, and he called me 3 years after they moved into their home said he's never had such cheap energy bills in his life. The quote he made was, "I could heat this house with a candle." I think that speaks to the type of home that we try to build and the type of work that J&K Insulation does.
Well, Chris Olson just showed up. How are you doing, Chris?
Oh, very good, man.
I'll
Always
tell you,
good.
This guy builds one heck of a great house. And I look forward to seeing how this 2024 parade house finishes.
Well, you know what's neat is every time I show up with J&K, it's one of those worry-free subcontractors that I have, that I know that these guys are doing it right. They're taking the time, making sure everything's perfect, making sure that the little things, and Jeff, personally is walking out, spraying the walls, making sure that his guys are getting the correct walls, correct places, the little teeny things of foaming in a hole that's on the outside of a house, and foaming that in, just the little details. I think over the years, I think we've been doing stuff for myself for 15 plus years now,
Yeah,
and I
that
know
was before it was even J&K.
Oh, exactly. And so Jeff has been around for years. He knows his stuff, and that's what really kind of makes me say solid of, hey, J&K does every one of my homes without a doubt. We do it right. We do it to the full extent. Jeff over the years has really said, hey, watch and see what these things do. And it's funny, every year the Parade of Homes, this year will be no different. People will come through this house and they'll walk in the basement, they'll hear the theater just bumping and thumping, and you won't feel that stuff throughout the house. The efficiency, and I joke about it all the time, we use Nest thermostats in our homes, and I will pull up the schedule and I'll look at what the past is. And I have homes that are running an hour and a half a day in the middle of the winter, an hour and a half a day that furnace is running because of what J&K does on their insulation, as far as taking the extra steps to make sure it's perfect. And then of course, doing the insulation right just makes a world of difference in the days of trying to make that home as energy efficient as possible, and spend the money up front and you get it tenfold over the life of the home.
So people ask, well, what makes an energy efficient home? Well, what makes an energy efficient home are all of the components working with each other. That would be your lighting, your air conditioner, your furnace, your water heater, all these different things, even your refrigerator, freezer, all these things will add to your energy efficiency. But the one who's actually going to pay you back, and pay you back fast, is insulation. There is no better investment into your home than insulation. Just to have the comfort of not a hot room and a cold room, and very inexpensive energy bills will show you just what the value of your home is. People ask you, how much is this house going to cost? And the true costs are never there, because they don't know what their energy costs are going to be until they move in. Some people, they're just outraged when they move in, and they can't believe they can't afford it because their energy bills are too high. Others, they tell me, I moved into a house twice as big as my last one and I use half the energy. It's a big deal. Insulate, invest a little bit of money, and you won't be sorry.